Welcome back. Several days ago, I tried Puzzle Rush Survival and I didn't do very well. I think I only got 28 or 29 when my normal score is in the 30s at least. And I just finished editing that video, so that inspired me to do another one. That's what I'm going to do here today. If you're new to my channel, I'm not a title player or chess coach like many other people who do chess on YouTube. I'm just a random person who enjoys chess, and I would like to get better at it. Solving puzzles is one way that we're going to do that. I like Puzzle Rush Survival because it starts with fairly easy ones usually, and then they get harder progressively. I have commented recently that I feel like the puzzles on chess.com have had their ratings shuffled recently, so sometimes, some of the ones that are supposed to be that easy or really aren't, and some of the ones that are supposed to be difficult really aren't. But that just could be my perception. We'll see what we get here today. There's a counter. I'm not sure why, because it's not a timed event. All right, here I think I have checkmate on the back rank. They'll have to block with the rook, but my bishop is cutting off this square here, so let's do that, and that should be checkmate. And same thing here, back rank checkmate. I think we also have that here. They'll have to block with the knight, but then that should be checkmate. This time, I think we also have a back rank checkmate. This time it's because my queen is cutting off the h7 square, so the king will have nowhere to go, and I'm not in check, and my rook isn't pinned, so those are some things I've not checked for in the past and thought I had checkmate, but, my piece was pinned or I was in check, something like that. Here again, I have a piece cutting off this square. I think they're going to have to block with their rook when I check with my rook. Because again, I'm not in check, my rook isn't pinned, they can't capture my rook down here on a8. So yeah, they'll have to block with their rook and I'll take it. Okay. I don't have a checkmate here because they can just capture that, but I can check with my bishop first, and they would either have to move back, giving me the mate with the rook, or block with the bishop. If they block with the bishop, obviously I will take it. Then they'll have to move back, giving me checkmate with the rook, I think. Again, I'm not in check. My bishop and rook, neither one are pinned, so let's try this. Take the bishop and then checkmate with the rook. Now, this one was supposed to be more difficult rating-wise than those last few, but it looks easier to me. I just take this pawn, protected by my bishop, and I think that's checkmate, because the rook cuts off back here, or my queen would cut off these squares, and their own two pieces are in the way there. They can't capture the queen. I'm not in check. My queen isn't pinned. Okay. Yeah, that one seemed easier than the previous ones. I'm going to be in a lot of trouble here in just a second. I can see that. So I need to start checking and start checking fast. I only have two checks in this position. One is with my rook down to f1 and the other is with my knight. If I use the knight, they're going to take it with the queen, right? But if I use the rook, they're going to take it with the king. So let's look at the aftermath of both of those checks. If I check with the knight on e2, they can't come out because my rook is guarding those squares. So if they don't take with the queen, they would have to move back to h1, and then I would have checkmate. So I think they have to take with the queen. So let's look at that. If they take with the queen, then I have two checks because the knight's not in the way anymore. So I would check there, and I think their only recourse at that point would be to block with the queen, in which case I would take it. Okay, well, I'm going to check with the knight then, and then check with this rook. Oh, it stopped. Okay, I think they had to block with the queen. Well, they've just taken something, but I have checkmate in 2, I think, because I'm not in check. So I just go down here and check, protected by my rook. They have to move over. Then I check again. They'll take with their rook, and then my rook will follow up, and that should be checkmate. I'm just going to go down and do that. And okay, we're up in the 500s now. We went from 179 to 571, and I don't feel like they've gotten harder yet. In fact, I think they've all been checkmates, or almost checkmates. Now that I said that, I have one that the answer is not immediately apparent to me all of a sudden. Oh, no, just as I said that, I saw the answer. I think this is checkmate here with the queen because my bishop's cutting off that square. This one was a little harder because it's in the middle and there's a bunch of pieces gathered around, so I had to slowly calculate, whether any of these pieces could attack there, but I don't think any of them can. Yeah, this should be checkmate. Okay. Well, I think we have checkmate here too. Can they not stop? I don't think they can stop that. Okay. And this one is not a checkmate, but it is a safe check. They would have to move over, and then I would check with the knight. They would have to move over again, and then I would check with the queen. I think that's mate in 3. Let me make sure I'm not in check. My queen isn't pinned. My knight is not pinned. All right, let's try that, and this, and this. Okay, very nice. Now we're at 732, so this is either upper 700s or lower 800s. All right, they have pinned my knight to my king. I can take their knight. Can I check? I do not have any checks. So we're looking at captures. One is taking the knight here, and I think that's my only capture. Now, I don't know what my opponent would play after that, but I assume they would take back with the queen. But then I've gone up a piece, correct? Right now, we both have all 4 minor pieces, both rooks and the queen. So I would just be up a piece for a pawn, and they would have a queen sitting here, but I think I would be okay. Is this the first one that isn't checkmate, is not a checkmate puzzle? Because I'm pretty sure I don't have any checkmates here. That seems like the most obvious thing, but very often the obvious thing isn't the answer to a puzzle, except at these rating ranges. Sometimes it is. I'm going to do it. Oh, they took here. Well, then I guess I should take back because I can't, I'm in check. I have to do something. Oh, okay. I don't know if that was their best move or not. Well, my opponent has a rook and I just have a bishop. I'm very close to promotion, but they are, of course, guarding the promotion square. Now, one thing that I thought of as soon as I saw this was to put my bishop there on c2 as kind of a decoy. I don't know if that's the correct term, but the idea is that if the rook takes, then I can promote, because it would be a check. So they would have to do something. And if they didn't take it because they wanted to continue guarding my promotion square, and let's say they got out of check by taking my pawn, then I could put my bishop on b1 and they can't get to the promotion square, and then I could promote on the following turn. And I think that would be enough for me. But what else do I have? Let's just see. I don't want to promote first because they'll take it. I can't move either one of the pawns. So it's either a bishop or a king move, and I don't have any really good bishop or king moves right now other than the one I just said. Well, you know, I can't move my king to the c file because of where their rook is, and I can't move it to the e file because of where their king is. So that I only have 2 choices for moving the king, and neither one of those make any sense whatsoever. So I'm back to the one that I immediately thought of. I don't know if it's any good. Oh, it was, and they did take it. Well, that lets me promote, which I'm pretty sure is my best move. Okay. I didn't think they would take it, but they did. In this puzzle, I am down a piece. All I have is this rook. The only check that I have with the rook is here, but that seems bad because their knight and their pawn are guarding that square. I have a check with the pawn, which is protected by my king. They can't move out here because of the rook. My king's cutting off these, and my pawns would be cutting off both of those squares, leaving them only 1 legal move. I suppose at that point, then I could check with the other pawn, which would force them to come back up here, which is no longer guarded by that pawn, and then I would have checkmate with this rook. I think. I'm going to try that. That's check. They have to come back up, and this is mate. Okay. White to move. I have a bunch of pieces, including my king way down. I mean, my queen way down here. Let's look at checks. I have this check with my queen. I have a check with my rook, and I think that's it. Okay, well, let's look at both of those. If I check with my queen, they only have 1 legal move. No, they can block with the rook. But if they block with the rook, then I take this one, and that's, you know, a check also. And then I think they probably want to block with their rook again. But if they don't block with the rook, that means that they come up. And if they come up, I would check with the bishop, but that would give them 1, 2, 3 legal moves. And if they chose this one, I would have no idea what to do. Oh no, if they chose that one, I would come over here with this rook, pinning their queen to their king. So if they chose one of the other 2 after I had checked with my bishop, then I could pull my bishop back here, and they would be in check from my rook, have to move back, and then I would get their queen. So I think I'm going to get their queen either way, or the rook, depending on how they respond. Hopefully that's it. Oh, they blocked with the queen. Well, I didn't expect that. Oh my. I can just take the bishop now. Are we about even on material? Let's see. No, my opponent is ahead in exchange, aren't they? Yeah, because they have 2 rooks and I have 2 bishops. So they have one of their rooks for my bishop, so they're up in exchange. If I take this, then I would have 2 bishops and a rook and a queen, and they would have 2 rooks and a queen, so I think I would technically be up. That's got to be better than trading the queens here, right? Also, after I take that, I am threatening checkmate down here in the corner, so I think that's good. I'm going to do it. Okay, it took me a long time to decide that, but, you know, sometimes you don't know. That's the whole point of doing these puzzles. I think I want to check here. I know they have 2 pieces guarding that square, but let's say they take with the knight. Then I would take with this rook, and that would be check, and I'm threatening to win their rook. And if they took, then I would promote. So that's kind of what I'm thinking of doing right now, but I can't think of anything else to do. I don't want to promote first, because then they just take it, and I've lost a pawn. Let's see. Right now, my opponent is up a knight. But if I go here, and they take, then they're up a knight and a rook. But I take, so they're just up a rook. And then if they take, they don't have to. They could get out of check at that point. But if they take, then I have a queen for their remaining rook. But if they don't take, then I take their rook, and we each just have a rook. And I'm about to promote. So I think that's okay. I'm going to try that. Oh, they took with the rook first. I thought they were going to take with the knight first. All right. I'm pretty sure I shouldn't waste my queen where the knight can take it. So I'm going to check with this rook. Oh, and now they've forked us. Wait. I think I know this one. Okay, I think I give up the rook here now since they didn't take it with the knight. Because right now, they can give up the knight for the pawn. But if I check first... Oh, I was wrong! Oh my, on a 972 rated puzzle. Wait, wouldn't they just have to take the rook and then I would promote to a queen? Oh my. Oh, I thought I had that. Okay. Well, we'll find out at the end. I don't know if I can find out now or not. If I click on that, I don't know if it'll mess up my streak here. Oh, white to move. I only have 2 pieces left. What's going on? And they forked my 2 pieces that I have left. I guess it's a good thing that I have a forced mate in 2. I think. I'm going to take this, right? And then they have to take back. They don't have a choice. And then I'm going to check here, and I think that's mate. Wait, no, they'll block with their knight. But then I'll take it, because the pawn is pointed there. Yeah, I think. Okay, let's do it. And then go here, and they block with the knight, and I take it. I think that's checkmate. Well, that one seemed a lot easier than the previous one. Ooh, again, here I am down a ton of material, so I'm probably looking at a checkmate, but what is it? Is it going here? I think it is. Let's see, I'm not in check, right? And their queen cannot make that jump. So if I check with the queen on c3, their only legal move is to block with the rook. And then that's mate, pretty sure. Check. And checkmate, I think. Okay, yeah, that one also seemed a lot easier than the one I missed. Well, here, that's mate in 1, is it not? Okay, sorry, this one should be rated like 300. This is a simple ladder mate, 1 move. Unless I'm really missing something. What am I missing? Okay, I stared at it for a while. I'm pretty sure that's checkmate. That puzzle was rated 1121. Come on. Okay, I do notice that this front knight is pinned. Queen is cutting off lots of squares here from the king, but I don't have mate yet because they have a knight guarding that square, and their king could take it for that matter. If they took with the king, then I could bring my other rook over, but they could just take it. They probably wouldn't, is my guess. My guess is if I went there, they would take with the knight. And if they took with the knight, then what would I do? But I do have another safe check. This is a safe check with the queen, but that forces the king to come out the other way, and then I don't have a follow-up, right? I wouldn't have a follow-up because I couldn't come back to where I am because that spot's undefended. I couldn't go here to check because their knight would take me. Wait, the rook could go there though. Hold on. Okay, so what if I check on d2 with my queen, which, as I said, forces them out. Then I check with this rook, and they can't take with the knight because the knight is pinned by my queen. That would force them back in there, and then I come back with the queen, and that's checkmate. Oh, I think that's it. I mean, I could be wrong, but let's find out. Okay, that was it. Then it's probably this. Oh, they came out. I didn't expect that at all. Okay, well, then this is checkmate. I thought they were going to go back in there, and I would have to go here. Either way, it's queen to e3 mate, right? They can't stop that, I don't think. All right. Okay, that one was just a little harder than the last 3, but those last 3 were way too easy to be rated over 1,000. Okay, the opponent has attacked my queen, which makes me want to move it, but I don't think I have a bunch of great places to move it. I do have a check, though, which is with this knight, because their c-pawn is pinned by my queen, so that would force them not to go here because the knight would be guarding that square. They would have to go to b1, and then I would check with my queen here on b4, and they would be forced to a1, and then I would have checkmate. Let's try that. I'm pretty sure it's this one, and then this. Okay, because if I didn't pick that particular b square, either their pawn or their knight or their queen could have gotten me, right? Yeah, I'm running out of pieces. Not a lot of pieces to work with here. I do have checks. I have 2 different checks with the knight on e2. Either knight, I mean. 2 different knights can check on e2. I don't know which one would be better. I can also check with one knight on h3, but their queen or pawn would take that. I can also check with the other knight on f3, but their pawn could take that. But, hold on. Okay, when I was talking about this knight to f3 and their pawn taking, then I thought, oh, this would be mate with the other knight to e2 because, no, it wouldn't be mate because the pawn's in the way of the bishop. Never mind. But anyway, when I was thinking about that, I thought, well, what about this check? That forces them over, and then I have mate here with this bishop. If I take the d knight to e2, it can't be the f knight because the f knight has to be here to guard that bishop eventually in this plan. But let's just make sure they don't have any other legal move. If I check d knight to e2, they can't take it, they can't block a knight, so they would have to move over, and then I think that's checkmate. Let's try that. Okay. Oh, wow. I so rarely checkmate with knights and bishops that that one was a little difficult for me. Okay, we both have queens on the board. We both have pawns. They have an extra pawn that is getting close to promotion, which I could take right now. That's probably not the best answer, but if I take it right now, I assume they would take my pawn. So do I want to check? Is that what I want to do? Wait, do I have a mate? Sometimes in these, because of where the pawns are, I end up with a mate and I didn't even realize it. Like if I check here, my queen's cutting off a bunch of squares, the pawn would be hitting there, this pawn is hitting here, and my queen's hitting those squares. Wow. So they would only have one legal move if I checked with the H pawn, H5. They would have to go to H4. And then I could check with the queen to F4, but that would unguard that square, so they would have to move up, and then I would come over here and I would have mate, right? Let's try that. Oh, I'm pretty sure it's this because I don't have a mate otherwise, right? Like if I move this other pawn, they can take that one. Let's try that. Like this. Okay. Well, doing puzzles in the past definitely helped me with that one because something in my brain recognized the pattern that their king was over there in between a bunch of pawns. Well, this one, sorry, am I in check? I'm not in check, but why wouldn't this just be checkmate? Am I missing something? They can't block that and they can't get out of check. My queen's not pinned. Am I in check? No, I'm not in check, so sorry, this one 1300, is that right? That was 1387. Okay, my opponent has 2 rooks, but I have 2 pieces for one of their rooks, so maybe that's better, I don't know. But they have pinned this. Let's see, do I have any checks? Not immediately. Well, I kind of want to move the C pawn forward, which skewers these rooks here. What would they play if I moved the C pawn forward? Because I'm looking at threats. I don't have any checks in this position, period. I also don't have any captures, except that one pawn down there. I can capture their B pawn right now with my bishop, but I think that's bad. So I moved on to threats, and I think one of the tactical motifs in this puzzle is that their 2 rooks are lined up with each other on this diagonal, where I already have a bishop. So that makes moving the pawn seem like the obvious first choice. But I don't know what they'll play if I move that pawn. What, do they take the knight? If they take the knight, then I take it, right? And then I have 2 pieces left for their rook. I don't know what else they might play, but they might play something. Let's find out. Oh, it was that. Oh, I didn't expect that. Well, I almost took this rook on A1, but then they would take my rook with check and then get the knight. So I think I have to take that rook on D2 and give up my knight with check, but then I'll just move out of check. I think. Let's do this. Okay, and yeah, I mean, I only have 2 legal moves. Sorry, this part shouldn't be in the puzzle. Yeah, it wasn't forced, but still, that one wasn't hard. Okay. Oh, I want to take the rook, but then do I get trapped? I might get trapped. I don't want to get trapped. Yeah, taking the rook seems really obvious and tempting. Maybe there's something else, like, for example, a check here. Oh, is that mate? Sorry, my queen's cutting off this right now. And if I check with my bishop on C5, that goes right through there. I think that's checkmate. And they can't block that with the pawn, but then I would just take. Okay, I'm going to do that. Oh, they did block with the pawn. I'm just going to take it. And then they blocked with the bishop. And then, okay. Now, which one do I take with? I want to take with the bishop, but then the king has to go to one of these 2 squares. And then I take the rook. Okay, see, this one, the ending of it is not obvious. Because if I take with the queen, then they have to go over here. And then I come back and that's mate. I think. I'm going to take with the queen. Oh, it stopped. Okay. Yeah, see, okay, I'll give that one 1500. That one felt like it was rated correctly to me. All right, in this one, how's the material doing? I'm actually ahead on material, right? No, they have a bishop over there. Okay, we both have 2 minor pieces, 2 rooks and a queen, so we're fairly even on material. I somehow went around playing with my pawns and got them all stacked up like a little toddler playing with blocks, and I just stacked 3 blocks on top of each other, and I was so proud of myself. Not really, sorry. I'm getting a little silly because I've been at this for half an hour now. Okay, so do I have any checks? I have 2 checks that I can see. One is this check with the knight. The other is this check with the bishop. Both of those look like they lose a minor piece. But does either one of them open up anything or create any chances? Let's see. Okay, I've looked around the board like it doesn't make sense to try to, I don't know, move a rook or push this or anything like that. So yeah, I'm just going to move the knight with check. I'm going to assume it's wrong so I don't get surprised by it, and then we'll find out later what the answer was. Okay, it wasn't wrong. All right. Well, this has got to be it, right? I check with the queen here. I mean, I could take the knight first. Does that make a difference? I don't know. I'm going to check with the queen on h6. Oh, okay. Oh, I wanted it to be wrong because I don't know what to do. I do not know what to do. Obviously, I have checks. Both of those look really bad. This one looks even worse because it helps them undouble their pawns. And I was planning on taking the knight, but I think I have to... I think I have to take the knight with the bishop, and then I'm threatening mate. That's what I was missing. That's what I was missing. And then I get the queen because, okay. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm sweating after that. Yeah, I am very, very not capable of seeing that mate threat from the beginning of the puzzle. I need to work on that. I didn't even see that when it was in that position for quite some time. Okay, here I'm not in check, but I'm about to be, probably. I do have a check here. Okay, I don't know how I did that. I could have sworn I had my mouse on my queen. I do have a check here, and my bishop's cutting off some squares, so they would have to go over, and then I could check again, but their queen is there, so that's a bad idea. But let's see. How's our material count doing? Oh, I'm way down on material. Look at that. They have 2 rooks for my 2 bishops, plus they have a knight and a bishop. So let's work on this. Wait a minute, I just saw it. Okay, this is a fork. It forces their king to move over. No, they can block with the queen. Whether they move over or block with their queen, I come get this rook. And my bishop's pointed at their queen anyway. I don't think they would block with their queen because that would be mate. Actually, not the rook. You're right. If they blocked with the queen, then that would just be checkmate. But if they moved over, then I would go take their rook. And that also will be checkmate, I think. But they did move over. Okay, well, this is checkmate, isn't it? I don't see any way around it. Let's do that. Okay. I'm about up to the point of my last puzzle in the previous video. Hopefully I can keep going just for a little bit, but they're definitely getting tougher now here in the mid-teens, the 1500s. Okay, now this is a pattern that I have seen in a previous puzzle, I'm pretty sure. The bishop highlighted me, or the bishop alerted me to this idea, and this pawn here. The king can't go anywhere right now, but I can check it. And when I check it, they're going to take with that pawn, leaving open the h-file, and the king still can't go anywhere, and I'm going to check back here. Not on h5 because their queen's guarding that square. I have to check on h6, I think, and then their queen has to block and I have to take it, and I think that's checkmate. I don't think they have any other choice. Yeah, they don't have any choice but to take with the pawn, and then I'll check down here. I'm pretty sure, like so, and this should be checkmate. Okay. Yeah, see, I had seen a very similar position in a previous puzzle, and that, like I said, that alerted me to the positioning of the knight, queen, and bishop. So it is, you know, I have done enough puzzles that I'm finally seeing things like that. Looks like, again, their king has gotten itself kind of trapped. I'm blocking off one of its escape routes. My rook's blocking off another escape route. Well, what's the answer here? Let's make sure I'm not in check. I thought about checking down here with the queen because that only leaves them one legal move. And then I can check with the rook, which is protected by the pawn, so it would force them to take the pawn. And then I come up here, which is a check and protects the rook, and then that should be checkmate. That's what I'm going to try. The rook is next, forces them to take the pawn, and this should be checkmate. Okay, I'm definitely higher now than in my last video, so I'm going to relax a little bit, not be so nervous about, man, I'm doing so poorly. I think my high is like 48, and I haven't gotten near it in a while. That's from last year. So I'm not aiming for that today. I was just aiming to beat my last one. Here I have queens and rooks lined up at their king. That's the first tactical motif that I noticed, is that, you know, I'm bearing down pretty hard. There might be a sacrifice involved. Oh, this rook can't move. I just realized that. Well, should I take their rook? That's probably not it. It is a free rook, but let's see. They have 2 rooks and I have 2 rooks. Okay, they're up a piece right now. So if I just take their rook, oh, they promote because their rook is defended. Oh, that's bad. Wow, I was a little late to pick up on that. So should I just start checking? Like here, if I check with the rook, they have to take it, right? And if they take it, then I come over here and check, and they have to go back, and then I don't know. Okay, well, I beat my last time score. That's probably not it. Oh, there's still another one. Okay, I thought that was the last one for some reason. Okay. In this one, they've attacked my queen. Oh, I don't know why I shouldn't just check them. They'd have to take it, and then this is checkmate, right? Yeah, I've seen that pattern before, so that one seemed pretty simple. I understand why it wouldn't be simple if you hadn't seen that pattern before. Here I do have a check, because they're going to mate me in here in just a second, so I need to start checking. So let's check down here. That only leaves them the one legal move, and then that's mate because my bishop's guarding that square. Oh, it stopped. Wait, they only had one legal move, and then I had mate. Pretty sure. And that was rated 1800. Oh, come on. There's a pawn in the way of what I really want to do here. Oh, I could take this pawn too, but they would take my queen, so that's bad. What happens if I just take this pawn right now? I assume they would take it instead of moving out of check. Do I have time for a threat in this one? Because what if I come here and I'm threatening the rook? The only way that the rook can save itself is by moving over next to the king, and then I would have mate. Do you think they would play anything else? What would they play if I put my queen in here on g2? Threatening mate. because the first thing that I thought of, the rook thing, that doesn't threaten mate. It just kind of brings their king out. And then the rooks would be protecting each other. But if I come here, their king could come out, and that's checkmate. So how do they protect against that? How do they protect against that? They have to move the rook up, right? Once I play queen to g2, I think they have to move the other rook up or bring the queen down to protect that spot, and then I get this rook with check. I'm pretty bad with the threats usually. Usually if it's a capture or a checkmate, I'm better at it. But this I think is just a threat, and I don't know how they'll respond. I'm going to do it. Oh, they brought the queen there. Well, I wasn't expecting that. Okay, but that gives up the rook, which was the whole reason I thought of this, is because that rook was undefended. So I'm going to take it. Oh, they got out of check. Well, now I need to save my queen, which looks like I only have one safe place. Well, that one seems pretty obvious. I don't know how unobvious it is, but it should be here, right? Okay, that was the only safe square to move the queen. Oh, this is bad. I have to get over there, don't I? Like, if I move my pawn, then I can't stop this. I come closer and they move their king. Oh, I would still have time to get in front of it. Let me see. If I move my pawn first, because it's a pawn race, nothing else makes sense other than to be the first person to promote. They wouldn't move their pawn, then they would come here, then I would have to come forward, and then they would come here, and I couldn't get in front of their pawn, so I have to move my king first, pretty sure. Oh, and then I have to move my king here? Wait, no, I don't, not yet. Should I? Oh, I should run the other pawn. Because if I play the D pawn, they go right next to it right now, and then they're closer to getting over to where my G pawn is, and I don't have to move this, because if they come back, I get in front of their pawn. They come this way, I get in front of their pawn over here, I think. Oh, let's see. If I play the G pawn, do they try to go toward it? They can't go here, so they have to come this way. I mean, if they try to go toward it. So let's say they play this, and then I move the G pawn, and they go this way. They can't catch it, right? Oh, they can. Oh, I didn't think they could catch it, but maybe they can. If I go here, and they go here, and I go here, and they go here, then I can check them with the D pawn, and if they take it, then they're too far for the G pawn. But if instead they go closer to the G pawn, then I can move my D pawn again, and if they take that one, they can't catch this one. I think that's it. But if just to see, if I play this, and they play here, and I play here, and they take it, and then I play here, they're going to get there in plenty of time. So I'm going to move my G pawn. I'm going to move my G pawn again. Oh no, wait a minute. I did the math with them going this way. What if I move this and they take here, and then I go, can they still catch me? No, then they can't catch me. They have to cut in front. If I play here, the only way they can catch me is if they cut in front. And when I get here, no, before I go there, that's when I play my D pawn. Okay. Oh, they took it. Okay, then they can't catch it. Okay. Wow. 34. Okay, I'm doing a little bit better. I'm down a piece. My rook is hanging. What if I went here and checked them, protected by the pawn? Then they couldn't take my rook, so they would have to move over one to e4. Then I could check them again with the other rook on e3. They would have to move over one. And then, hold on. I just saw something. Both of these spots are protected by pawns. Okay, so if I check with the rook to d5 first and they move over, then I move this one up. Oh, I thought that would be mate, but by this time they can get out. But then I bring this one down to d3, and they only have one legal move. Okay, I can't follow that out that far, but I'm pretty sure if I play this one first, they take that rook. So I'm going to play this one first. It was that. Then I'm going to play this because those are my only two safe checks. And I feel like if I come over here to e3, then it's too easy for them to keep going, and I don't think I can stop them. But if I go up to g4, then they have to come down, and I've got them kind of trapped over here. I don't know. I'm about to find out. Oh, it was that. Okay, well, that one's protected, and now their king is shut off in this little box. What is it? Oh, it's this. Okay, I didn't see. That's what I said earlier. I could not see everything from the previous position, but now I can see that because of where their king is now, and my rook's cutting off all of this, my other rook to f5 is going to hit this, and my king is blocking those squares, so it's that. Oh, wow, that was a checkmate, and I had no idea until the very last minute. All right, my opponent has come up behind my pawns. Like, have you ever been standing in a line and somebody gets right behind you? Like, I don't mean a couple of feet. I mean, like, right there. Like, that bothers me so much. Like, I will accidentally step back, or sneeze or something just to get rid of that. Anyway, give me some space, man. I think I want to move my king in here because it continues to protect both of my pawns. And then what do? Move over? And then I take that one? No, I need to take that one first, don't I? If I take this first... Sorry, let me complete my first thought. My first thought was that if I moved my king in here, then they would have to move their king over, and then I would take that pawn, and when they took back, I would be in front of my pawn. The problem with that idea is that if I go here, they can take this pawn now, and it's protected by their king, and it's gone. So I think I have to take this now. And if they take back, then I go over here, protecting my pawn and attacking theirs, and they can't get around in time. And if I take and they take my other one, then they can't catch this pawn. So I'm going to take on h3 first. Oh, they did take. Well, then I'm going to go here. It's the only move that makes any sense whatsoever. And then I'm going to take their pawn, and then I assume they're going to try to get around, but I'm going to come back out. Oh, they did try to come around. Well, I'm going to come back out and guard my path to promotion like so. Okay, 36. Well, again, didn't expect to be going that long. I can take this, should I? Or do I have a mate or something? I have a something. I can check here, but if I check with the bishop on e4, my queen's cutting off this, that gives them two choices. And then, of course, I would come down here. They could come out. And then what? Actually, if I checked here and they went to either one of those squares, I'm going to take their rook with check, which is why I shouldn't take it first. I should check them first so that when I take the rook, it's check, right? Oh, they blocked. Well, I wasn't expecting that. Well, should I take here now, or should I take with the bishop and then get the rook with the bishop? I don't know. I'm looking at their other pieces too. Either way, I get the rook afterwards, but one of them's better. Right? If I take with the queen, I mean, then that gives them more choices to get out of check. I think those are the only three choices to get out of check. And then I take the rook, and I think I'm still okay. If I take with the bishop, that also gives them three choices to get out of check. And then I take the rook. But, sorry, back up. This way, if they choose two of those choices, I would have mate. So maybe it's that one. I'm going to take with the queen. Oh, it stopped. What? Okay. Yeah, there's about three of these that I got it right, but I'm still wondering what would happen after that. Where are we? I am playing with the white pieces. Okay, I have a check, but they could just get out. I could also check now with the bishop. What would they do if I checked now with the bishop? Would they take it? Oh, I just realized they're threatening mate if my other rook ever moves, because my rook's the only thing defending that knight, which is pinned. So I have to be very, very careful. I can check with this bishop, and because my rook is here, it is preventing their king from coming out. And if they go back, then I have mate. So I think they would take it with the rook. And then I have this check because my other rook's cutting off this line, and they would have to block with the rook, and I would take it. Let's try that. Oh, wait, they did take it. Then I'm going to check, and that's checkmate. Oh my, I feel good about that one. It wasn't really hard, but it was a little challenging. That's a free knight, but because then they have this check, but I would just move out of check. So I don't know. Do I have any checks right now? I have this check, I have that check, but that one seems like a loser. That move with the rook down to g2 would be a lot better after I played this, but I don't know what they would do. But I would like to do that. But I assume they would check me, so their queen wouldn't be lined up with that anymore. What if I check here? What do? They probably come up here and defend the knight. That makes me want to take the knight. If I check with the rook on g2 and they take it, then when I take the knight, it's check. But then I've lost my rook, so I'm going to take the knight. Oh, and they gave up the queen for the rook? Wait, I should take it, right? Why would they do that? I have to get out of check. What? Sorry, I don't understand that one at all. Why did they do that? I thought I was going to lose that puzzle. 2151, I'm writing that down. I should have written down a couple of the others, but I've already been at this over an hour. Oh, wow, over an hour now. So yeah, I'm not going to have time to do a lot of looking at the end. I have a check here. Looks like they would only have one legal move, and then I would not have mate. I also want to move the pawn because the rook's behind it, but then they would just come over, and then I wouldn't have any checks except for this. So what do I need to do? I want to go ahead and do this check. Oh, you know what? I bet that's it. If I do this check, queen check on b5, like I said, I think they have to move over. They can't come up because of my dark squared bishop. So once they move over, I think I want to sacrifice the queen. When they take with the bishop, no, it doesn't work out because I was going to say I would take here, it'd be a discover check from the rook, but then they would take my pawn with their king. And yeah, I would have this follow-up protected by the bishop, but then they would just get out. Okay, so that doesn't work. What does work? Checking with the bishop first, does that work? They would just take it. Also, my queen's in danger right now. And once they took it, then I don't have a good follow-up. Oh, and my queen's in danger this way too. Good grief. My queen's just in dangers all around. Many dangers. Well, I again feel the exhaustion setting in. I'm pretty happy with this score. I'm just going to try this. Oh, that was it. Okay. Surely that doesn't work, the thing that I talked about a second earlier. Oh, but now I can check over here, right? Now I can come in a little closer. Oh, what? Was that mate? No, it wasn't. Why did it stop? Oh my goodness. I'm playing with the white pieces. I have two rook. Wait, they have two queens. That's not fair. Yeah, somebody should have given me two queens. I'm joking, of course. You have to make your own queens, don't you? If I check here, they're going to come up. What if I check with the pawn first? Oh, then they just take it. What if I check with this pawn first? They go in there, and then I take that. Ooh, let me try that. Oh, they did go in there. Was that mate? Oh my, I'm over 40 now, and I'm just kind of slinging pieces because because I'm feeling a little silly. That's not a, I mean, that is a check, but I think they would take that, so I'm not going to do that. I could take the bishop, but why? Wait, what if I take the bishop with the rook, and when they take back, then that's a check with my other bishop. I mean, with my light squared bishop, and then I don't know what they would do. They might block or they might move over, but if they moved over, then I could check with the rook and they could take it, and then I could bring my queen over here, and then they would go back. I don't know. It's probably not that. Oh, I meant to do it with the rook. All right, let me look at the 41. That's pretty good. It's my longest streak in a while. Let's look at 2151. It's the one that I wrote down that I got correct. This is the one where play. I have to click play first. They took my bishop, I took their knight, and then they gave up their queen, and I didn't know why. And then they did that, and I got out of check. So on the analysis board, why did they give up my queen? Because after their first move, it's -7 if I take this. Their best move was actually, oh no, it changed his mind. Their best move was to take the rook. But why? Why don't they go down here and I get out of check? And it's still their best move to give up the queen for the rook, but I don't understand why. Is it because I'm about to mate them? Like, sorry, why? What else could they do? Maybe it's because there's nothing else they can do. But like if they went to attack my queen, oh, then I would check here, and they have to go to F1, and then this is mate. Okay, so that's the reason they had to give up the queen for the rook, because all other paths led to mate. I didn't realize that. If I had, I would have taken the knight much more quickly than I did in the puzzle. Now let's look at the ones I missed, including this one rated below 1,000. In the puzzle, they took a pawn here. I seem to remember going this way, and they took with the rook, which surprised me. And then I went here, and they surprised me by not taking that. And I went over here, and that was wrong. So should I have just promoted first? I should have just promoted and then take the knight. Oh, but what was wrong with mine? I want to know real quick. Like right here. No, sorry. Before that, what was rook to H1 is close to drawn, because if they take it, then I promote, and it's a draw. I guess it's because they're extra pawns. I know that those two pieces together can very often thwart a queen if they, if the player knows how to use them. And like here, their first move basically has to be this. It's their only legal move. But also, even if it wasn't their only legal move, they would want to protect their rook. And their rook is protecting the knight. So they're going to keep those two pieces as best they can. And then they've got extra pawns, including a passed pawn. So that's why I'm guessing that instead of doing the thing that I did, after I took here, why didn't they take me? It would have, see, I was expecting them to take me and then I would take, but they didn't. They moved out of check. So I had to promote first so that I had the queen for the knight. And it was their best move to take this out and me to take there. Okay. I understand that. My idea didn't work because they had the rook and the knight for a queen. But this way, they just have the rook for the queen. Okay. That was the 972 one. That seems still, I think it's higher than 972. The second one I missed was this one. I don't even remember if I got the first move right. It was, well, that makes a lot more sense. Why didn't I think of that? Oh my goodness. I said those were the only two checks I had. Well, this is a check. Why didn't I see that? Yeah, that's a lot more obvious to me now because I'm very, very threatening mate. That's not grammatically correct. If you're learning English, I just did it wrong. Next. No, sorry. I played that one again. That's not what I meant to do. Wait, was this another one that I missed? Sorry, that's not what I meant to do. Okay, so we just did the one that I missed, which was this one, and then the other one that I missed was 2338. Yeah, okay, yeah, I clicked next by accident. That's not what I was supposed to do. Getting tired. All right. When you get to my age, it's all messed up. Yeah, what I meant to try was this, and that was right. And then this, and then this. Oh, that I would have got it wrong anyway. Okay, but yeah, that was messed up. My first move, I went ahead and took with the bishop, even though I had just said I was going to take with the rook. Okay, so it's not sacrificing the rook. Why not? I'm curious about that, because sacrificing the rook, I think they have to take, and then I bring the queen. Oh, because they can block with the knight. So I have to bring the queen first, maybe. Let's bring the queen first. Oh, it wasn't that. Okay, well then I don't know what it is. What's the hint button? Oh, I get a rook for a bishop, and then what? And then this? No. And then the sacrifice? No. Okay, hint button again. Still going. Move forward one. Oh, I think I was aiming for that. Okay, but they came back over here, so I'm still not. Oh, wait, I still am aiming for that. Why did they? Sorry, it's this? Okay. Wow. Yeah, that one was definitely deserved its rating. Okay, so I got the first move right and the second move right, but this idea was wrong because even after they took and I moved my queen over, they could block with the knight. So what I've got to do is go ahead and go up the exchange over here. Now we're actually about even on material. And then I'm going to move forward, which not only threatens the rook, but threatens this pawn, which after that threatens mate. So I move up, they come back for no reason, and I take the pawn. I mean, they came back for a reason, like they didn't want me to take their rook, but they didn't need to go there necessarily, I don't think. I'm going to go to the analysis board real quick before I say goodbye and see that after this, like, what do they play? I'm not threatening mate, apparently, because they can go knight to f5, which allows their queen to guard that. So they go knight to f5. Now their queen is guarding that, but their queen's not guarding this, so I take it. How am I up +4? Oh, it's because of all my extra pawns? And now I'm threatening this one, so do they want to protect it? Queen to d6, that doesn't protect that pawn. Or queen to e7 also doesn't protect that pawn, but it goes after my knight. If they play queen to e7, sorry, if they play this, I don't know what they're threatening, but if they play queen to e7, they're threatening my knight, so I would take this pawn. So let's say they played that, and oh, I wouldn't take the pawn. It's changed its mind. I would play g6 now, but it would be okay if I took this pawn, which protects my knight. And then now they can check me? Oh, it had a queen to something check there for a second. Where were they going to check me? Oh, down here? Oh, over here. They can check me on a3. That's the one that popped up. Okay. That's their best move, and I would just move over. Okay, but I'm really far ahead here. 4 points ahead. I'm guessing it's because I have 4 more pawns than they do. Yeah, that puzzle was rated 2388, it says, and that, I mean, it darn well should be because that was pretty difficult. Thank you for spending your time here. I don't know how short I'm going to be able to cut this down in editing, but it's going to have to be really short. A lot of cutting. I'll see you next time.